Hello, everybody. I'm Carla Lazama, and today we're going to be talking about Roseola and my Patient Zero project. Okay, so let's begin and talk about some of the history of the virus. Roseola was discovered in 1986 and it was studied by John Sahorsky. When in the early 20th century, he did his first formal presentation and described 15 children with the illness. The common cause of Roseola is the human herpes virus 6, but it can also come from the human herpes virus 7. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about how roseola spreads. Roseola is said to spread by skin to skin. Um, so roseola enters the body from the nose or the mouth. So, for example, when a child or a kid or anything sneezes, talks, laughs, cries, anything that has to do with opening the mouth and letting saliva out. If the saliva contains droplets of fluid that contain the virus, then those hop from one person to the other in seconds, which infects the other person near the person who had the virus. And that is how people get infected because, again, it is a contagious virus, a contagious illness. Another way that it spreads could also be mouth to mouth, for instance. How common is this virus? So roseola is only common in little children, such as kids of age of 2, usually when they're entering kindergarten. It is contagious, but it only comes during spring and fall the most, and it only lasts 3 to 7 days. So it's not something that is horrible. It just happens to most kids, 95%. So roseola is basically always around. It's just always around for little kids. It's something that they have to go through. 95% of the people have to go through this just so that they are immune to it, and they basically just get over with it in preschool or when they're at the ages of 2 to 3, or even sometimes 6 months. Okay, so roseola does not have an actual cure because it just kind of goes away on its own. But there are some things that parents choose to do just to make the process a little bit better for their children, such as giving their children anti-inflammation medication such as ibuprofen or acetaminophen, or some just common things that you could do are dressing your kid in just breathable clothes so that they're comfortable and not uncomfy or anything. Warm baths to balance the body temperature. Keeping your kid hydrated is a very important, and good foods while they're sick. Just staying away from junk food is a big step to it because junk food could just make your child feel worse than they already are. So it's important that they're eating well, staying hydrated, just basic things to help speed up the process of them recovering. Another common basic treatment to this, or just not an actual cure, but just something to help make your child feel better, is getting rest and sleeping just so their body doesn't feel tired all the time. So let's talk about the prevention of roseola. Now, roseola you can't really never not get it. It's just something that happens to most kids. It's something common towards little kids because, again, it's something that happens in every kid's childhood. But you can kind of try and prevent it by avoid exposing your kid to another infected kid. So if you know that a kid has roseola, just keep your distance from them just to make sure that, because there's a high chance that your kid would get it. Um, and if it's the other way around, then make sure your kid doesn't go in contact with other kids just so that the other kids don't get infected. So we do know that it's very rare for adults to get this virus, but it is possible that adults or young adults can carry the virus, the illness. So it's important to always wash your hands frequently just to make sure that if you're carrying anything, there's no high risk of infecting anyone or passing it on to another child. Okay, so that's everything you need to know about roseola. Thank you for listening, and I hope you guys enjoyed.